Yo, 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 yo.
What is going on?
Welcome to... What week is this?
Week 3 of the
NFL playoffs.
It's like, I don't know what week it is of the
Throwing
podcast.
Bombs. Welcome to the Throwing Bombs
I think
podcast.
it's 20.
This is Ricky Rod.
This is Gage Gwynn.
And we are a podcast. We're just fans of the NFL. We don't love the NFL media. The NFL media drives us crazy.
Lots of things in the NFL drive us crazy. Ain't that right, Rick?
Yes, apparently. After doing this podcast this year,
Oh, my
I've
goodness.
learned a lot about that. But anyway, yes, this is a fan perspective podcast about our favorite sport. We discuss the weekly games. We discuss the next week's games and all the drama.
All the hot button takes, whatever they're called.
Yes, and
All these crazy news stories.
So and there's no drama this week, right, Gage?
None at all.
None at all, right? like last week, the best thing was the Adam Gase meme.
Yeah.
You know, did you see the flying taco video? That was the best thing I saw.
Yeah.
That was the best thing I saw on social media.
Adam Gase eyes was trending on Twitter for a little while. And
Yeah, it was
like,
insane.
hilarious.
And then he was on Sirius Satellite, and they were asking him about it, and he's like, "Yeah, I don't even have a social media account." Like he's like anti all that. He's in his defense, he's a straight up football nerd.
True.
You know, so
It's fine though.
Well, what game do we? What box of worms do we want to open up
Let's talk about
first?
the one that, was less dramatic in the sense of,
Are we going to
let's
talk
do
about the
Pa-
AFC game?
Yeah, Patriots and Chiefs. Let's do that.
Okay.
Because we could talk about the other one a lot more.
Because, yeah, that's going to take up most of the podcast. So,
Yeah.
All right, if you want to know what Gage is talking about, if you live under a rock somewhere, okay.
Or a Fairweather fan.
The New England Patriots visited the Kansas City Chiefs at Kansas City. That game lived up to all the hype I was expecting it to be.
Unfortunately.
Yeah, it was an excellent game. It was not refereed perfectly.
It was better than the other game.
Well,
By far, obviously.
There, like in the fourth quarter, there was a call against the Patriots, and they pointed the camera to Bill Belichick, right? Mm-hmm. And he had a Microsoft Surface tablet in his hands, and he threw it. He literally just chucked it. Like he was he was losing his mind. So, but anyway, let's talk about that game because I've got, social media. If there's anybody that has become very, people have some pretty crazy opinions now. It's Tom Brady. Like, I think in general, people are tired of Tom Brady, I feel like.
Well, yeah. I mean, honestly, now it's become that everyone wants them to win.
So he'll
he
retire.
retires.
I posted that. I was like, hey, my only hope is he wins and he'll retire. I put the prayer hands. And then after that, my comment section on that, blew up.
Oh, I know.
Like, people,
I saw that.
People
I was like,
lost their minds.
okay.
And I'm like, of course, some friends messaged me. They're like, I know you hate that Tom Brady won. I'm like, well, number one, they say he's the GOAT.
He is.
He went out there and surgically took that defense apart.
Yep.
He was the best player on the field, and my favorite drive that watching him was the overtime drive that won the game.
Oh,
right?
yeah. 3 third and long conversions.
They knew
3.
They had a sense of urgency on that drive.
Yeah.
They did not go conservative. They
knew that if
dagger.
they got Pat Mahomes the ball,
yeah, it was over.
would be
They
over.
had no intention of kicking a field goal.
yeah.
And rightfully so, because we'll talk about that in a minute. I was really impressed with Mahomes, but the two things I saw in that overtime drive were this: they kept Gronk most of the time blocking.
yeah.
They only would send out 3 wide receivers. That was it. They basically told the Chiefs, hey, man-to-man, try to come hit Tom. I think the statistic I read today that in 92 snaps, Tom Brady has not been sacked. Okay.
Wow.
All right. In the playoffs, he hasn't been touched. He hasn't been sacked.
Right. Yeah.
He came out, and those throws to Edelman were just incredible. He was telepathic with those throws. I don't think any corner in the league could have blocked, could have defensed those passes. Right. Mm-hmm. I mean, you could even see in the corner's like reaction, like he just. Tom Brady had the ball out so fast it was impossible to defend. And then right before the play that they ran the ball in, right, Gronk, instead of going out for the out route, he cuts it in, right? That play, that was it. Like the minute Gronk caught that, I was like, it's over, it's done. And the Chiefs knew it too. Good for Gronk. I mean, it was incredible, man. I mean, we better enjoy watching one of the best quarterbacks ever to live, because at this point, there's a good chance I think he'll retire after the Super Bowl, and it's not going to be because he wants to retire. I think it's going to be because of his wife and family. That's what I think. Mm-hmm. I think it's going to have nothing to do with money. I don't think it has anything to do with Bill Belichick. I think it has to do with his wife and kids.
Yep. And you look at the Patriots, they 46 pass attempts, 48 rushes.
Yeah.
Very balanced.
Well,
they had almost
started
200
running
yards
the ball in
rushing.
December.
Yeah.
You know, there were a couple of games where Brady had like horrible statistics, right? Because everybody, that's when, and he did. It's almost like he lost steam at the end of the 17-game stretch.
Yep.
They started running the ball. His statistics were like he was throwing for less than 120 yards or less than 200 yards.
Yeah.
They just started running the ball, and they carried that into the Kansas City game. Ran the ball all over.
A 31st ranked defense
ran all over them, and it was a really, game plan wise, they did great. What I thought was even better was Pat Mahomes.
Dude.
Without Pat Mahomes on that Chiefs team,
they would have went like 4-12 instead of 12-4,
yes.
Dude.
Pat Mahomes made some insane throws, great plays.
Oh, yeah.
The Patriots only had one goal on defense. That was to take out Tyreek Hill.
Yep.
That's what they did. Tyreek Hill had one play, one pass. That was it. They doubled him, would not let him cut loose, and they wanted the other, Kelsey and Damian Williams to show up. They did. Kelsey and Damian Williams
actually showed up.
Yeah, Sammy Watkins played well. Mahomes played well. I do think if Mahomes got the ball first in that overtime,
Chiefs would be in the Super Bowl.
They would have won the game.
Yep.
Yeah. So, excellent game. You couldn't ask for, as a football fan, you couldn't ask for a better game.
Right.
I think back to the games where the Colts with Peyton Manning against the Tom Brady Patriots of those years. I've always thought those games were better. But, the modern NFL is about offense. It was good, man. It was a good game.
Here's my prediction for the Chiefs.
Dee Ford, though. Did you see that play when Dee Ford was offside?
Oh, yeah.
In the neutral zone? Mm-hmm. That cost them the game. At the end. They had the pick there. Mm-hmm. If that hadn't happened, it's game over.
Yeah.
It's game over. The Chiefs had every chance to win that game.
Right. But my prediction for the Chiefs this year is they're going to take a LA Rams approach to this offseason.
And shore up that D-line.
They just need to go heavy on win now because they have shown they have a QB who's
they got to do what the
nasty.
Seahawks did early in Russell Wilson's career.
Well, I'm going to say the Rams of this year because the Rams traded for Marcus Peters, Aqib Talib.
And then they
signed Sue. They signed Aaron Donald to an extension. They signed Todd Gurley to an extension.
But probably the best thing that organization did was get Wade Phillips to run that defense, to be honest.
But still, bringing those guys in was a game changer.
Yeah.
All of them. And the Chiefs need to do the same thing this offseason to get to the Super Bowl.
I think this is, we've always talked about franchises that mismanage their franchise quarterbacks.
Yeah.
Right? That's been brought up a lot. I've talked about it a lot.
Aaron Rodgers.
They better not waste Mahomes. And I think Andy Reid's a heck of a coach.
Yeah.
I love him. I have a lot of respect for him. I think they're going to be a juggernaut for a long time.
As long as Mahomes is there, they're going to be ridiculous, man.
I think they'll figure it out on defense.
It's going to be like Rodgers, how even if no one's there, they're still winning 10 games.
I mean, they can go get Clowney this year.
They could go get a lot of people.
So there's plenty of players for them to go get. The Chiefs were great. If you were pulling for the Chiefs, I'm sorry. It sucks. But you can't blame anybody.
Like, you're so conflicted as an NFL fan because, like, if you're not a Chiefs fan or a Patriots fan, you're just like, do I want the Chiefs to win it all, or do I want Tom Brady to retire?
I wanted Tom Brady to retire, to be honest.
Me too, man.
But we watched a very good game, and we watched the greatest of all-time quarterback do what he's done
versus
his entire career.
Versus a possible future great.
Yeah. So it was really from the top down, it was just a great game. You couldn't ask for a better game, and it really shows the lack of competition in the AFC this year.
Yeah, that is true.
It's not as deep as it was in the NFC.
Well, you saw the flaws of every team come out in the playoffs, except for these two teams.
Yeah. They really played up.
Dominated everyone.
I really
except
hope
each
next
other.
year we don't have that next season.
Like, just every team's competitive, and
I would like to see. Well, if Tom Brady's not playing, it's gonna be
strange.
It's gonna be weird.
Yeah.
But I have a prediction because of the Tom Brady win.
Okay.
And I think ratings wise, this is going to be one of the lowest Super Bowls ever.
Yeah.
Ratings wise, modern Super Bowls, because
I think if the Saints were there, it would be higher.
I don't know anybody other than a Patriots fan or a Rams fan, and we'll talk about Rams fans in a minute.
Yeah.
I don't know anybody that's excited about the Super Bowl.
And a lot of people are boycotting this because of the thing that happened with the Saints and Rams game,
which we'll get to here in a
lot
second.
Of people are pissed off.
There's the league, the NFL league. Pro Football posted this article today, or he tweeted this, whoever runs it for their social media. He said that the NFL is the worst multi-billion-dollar run organization in the world.
Surprise.
And they are. They are. And we can go ahead and talk about this leading into this game. So, but just to put this to bed, I have no animosity towards Tom Brady. I'm glad for him. He played unbelievable, and nobody hates him more than I have over the years.
Right.
Because
I know.
He's really the reason
years of doom
Dolphins
for
have
your
had
franchise.
We've had turnover. We've had so much turnover, and it's not just stuff. It's been with the Bills. It's been with the Jets. It's all because of Tom Brady.
Yep.
So
and here's the thing, man.
He's killing it. So and watching him do that was awesome. And watching Mahomes play was awesome. So as a fan, enjoyed the game. The schemes, the way they attacked each other were incredible.
Yep.
Very smart football was played. My only hope is Tom Brady wins the Super Bowl and he walks away.
Yep.
And it's over.
Yeah. We'll see that happen.
So
I'm pretty sure.
But because of this win, though, and because of the Saints game, I honestly think the Super Bowl will not be that great.
Well, let's talk about
because there's
Saints
a team
game.
in the Super Bowl that should not
be there, and that's the St. Louis Rams.
Yeah,
L.A. Rams
should not be there.
Let's go ahead and talk about everything leading up to that game, okay? Because I was sitting there with Casey Turpin, and we were watching the game.
You watched it with those guys?
I watched it with Casey.
Okay.
And me and him were watching it. I was getting crazy because the Saints were up 13-0. Like, the Rams looked awful.
Yeah.
The first quarter and a half. They looked terrible.
Yeah, then Goff.
And then they start coming to life a little bit.
Yeah.
Todd Gurley dropped like 5 passes that game.
Dude, Todd Gurley.
He
played like butt.
Yeah. Yeah, literally the first 3 passes he had towards him, he dropped.
They took him out of the game.
For C.J. Anderson. Because he catches passes.
They took him out of the game.
The guy that they signed for millions and millions and millions of dollars. Yeah, I know.
What the heck?
It's just showing you he's not healthy, man. He's not healthy. And that's another key reason why we're going to predict some certain things later on.
Yes.
But back to the game. I mean, you saw things start coming to life. They kicked a field goal. Everyone's like, well, they can come back still. And then They ran it in to end the half.
And then
The Saints went up again with that Taysom Hill pass.
Yeah.
So it's 10-20. The
Yeah.
Swiss Army knife man he is.
Goff, man. Goff, this is where, like, Goff doesn't seem impressive.
He
at
doesn't.
First. He doesn't look.
I don't think he was impressive at that game very much to me.
But in the end, he outplayed Breeze.
To the very end, I will say.
He outplayed Breeze. And they kept on making plays. And the other thing was the Rams defense, which is a little bit better than the Chiefs, right? We can admit that.
Oh, yeah.
You know, I think their coordinator's better than the Chiefs' D coordinator, Wade Phillips.
Yeah.
I think their D-line is better. Patriots are going to have to, play a D-line that's much different with Sue, and Donald on it. They move him around really good, too. Sue had an incredible game. Sue has played better than Donald the last 2 games.
Yeah.
In the playoffs. 100%.
Well, real quick, when's the last time we've had both games be overtime games in the championship week?
I can't remember.
That's crazy to me.
We
had
was
to the wire. Obviously, it showed you
it was a fun game.
at the moment
The game was fun.
Yeah, the moment all the games ended 2 weeks ago, we were like, okay, obviously we
Dude,
called this.
They couldn't even communicate their calls.
It was so
Rams.
loud. I know.
And that, watching that at home was awesome.
You could see Sean McVay yelling in Jared Goff's ear what was going on.
The only thing we missed in that game was Tony Romo calling it.
I know, man. Someone
Romo
commented that Tony Romo was annoying. I was
No,
like, it's
no.
so fun watching him predict a call.
No, Tony Romo is going to be the next superstar of broadcasting.
Is he broadcasting the Super Bowl?
Oh God, I hope so.
I
doubt
think
it.
I think CBS has the Super Bowl though. He's with CBS.
Always they always give it to the old guys like Al
But
Michaels
why?
and Collinsworth.
They need to give it to them too and Romo.
Yeah, Romo's incredible. But so back to the Saints game. So let's go. So let's get to this play. My
Right.
favorite meme that came from this play is the one with Hulk Hogan doing the leg drop
Oh,
on the wide receiver. Have you seen that meme? Yeah. I put that on my Facebook
there's
page.
so many memes, man.
That's the best meme. The
Well-
Hulk Hogan meme is so funny. So here's the can of worms. Okay, I want to talk about because we have talked about the refereeing all season.
Yeah.
The refereeing was awful the first month into the season, and then they obviously made some tweaks.
They kind of drew back their harshness of penalties a little bit.
So let's give some history in the refereeing. In the last year,
We could do the last 5 years
they
if you
have
really
flipped.
want to.
They have flipped. They had 50% turnover
Yeah.
with the referees. So you got a bunch of new blood. You got a new head of officiating, who I don't think will be the head of officiating anymore, by the way. I think
Yeah.
he's going to lose his job.
Yep.
And we'll talk about that here in a second. So there's another aspect to this whole debacle.
Well, I think
Okay, so we're obviously talking about the no call
yeah.
on the pass interference call. Okay, so this is the first year that gambling became officially legal
Yep.
in some major gambling states for the NFL, right?
Right.
I think in New York, obviously Vegas has been fine, but there's some markets now where the NFL has loosened the rules for gambling, right?
Right, yeah.
So you go to this play. From what I've read, there was a line judge who saw the play, and the guy that's responsible to call it. The line guy saw the play, wanted to pull the flag. The guy responsible, the referee responsible for that side of the field, said it was a bang-bang play. Right? That's the way he saw it. Bang, bang. In other words, it was so fast.
Well, here's several problems with that, man. You can call it 2 different penalties. You can call it
there was
helmet to
helmet
helmet
to helmet.
and pass interference.
Yes. So
You know?
obviously Sean Payton saw the same play because he
Oh my
lost his mind, and I think everybody in the stadium saw that.
And lost their minds equally.
Exactly.
And
So
you
there's
could just,
there's no mechanism in the NFL refereeing book to fix that call.
And there will be.
Oh, there's going to have to be because I think I even mentioned I've tweeted this and Facebooked this
I
multiple
think you
times.
said
I think
something like Bill Belichick has wanted this for years and years.
he wants to make every play reviewable, but college football, that system is almost perfect. It's not perfect, but it is incredibly better than the NFL.
Yeah.
Because in the college football, that could have been challenged. Somebody from upstairs would have said, "Hey, we got to look at this play," and there would have been a penalty called.
Right. Yeah.
So, the NFL is sort of like, think about the world's largest ship, right? There's like this huge ship that was created, I think, in Russia.
Yeah.
And it took I forgot how long it would take to turn, but that ship takes literally it takes a day to turn. Like, it's so big, stupidly big. They had to dock it because it was so stupidly big.
Right.
The NFL is the same way. They've become a ship that's so big, they can't change fast enough.
Yeah.
Right? And they're already...
By the time they change, something new happens and they have to change again.
Yes. And they're like a company that's old, doesn't want to innovate, and they've let themselves open. There's a lot of professional leagues starting to come up against some competition.
XFL's coming back.
Yeah, and that's a good example. But the bottom line is that it's an embarrassment to the league. It's an embarrassment to Goodell.
I think the thing that they're like, well, if they would make games so long, well then
Who cares?
Well then make it toward the final 2 minutes you can challenge any call.
They're going to have to do something.
Compromise.
Because the owner, her name, I forgot her name, Benson. I forgot her first name. The owner of the Saints basically lambasted the NFL. I mean, she just went off. Sean Payton didn't say anything because they can't. I mean, they get fined,
actually,
but he did say something.
He told me, or he didn't tell me obviously, but he said that the head of officiating told him that it was a blown call, for sure.
Oh yeah,
but
I mean, but the NFL hasn't officially released anything, and there's only been leaks about.
That's just so funny.
The competition committee
that the head of officiating is like, yeah, we blew that call, but NFL's like,
well, they don't want to, and now there's a lawsuit against the league.
Season ticket holders of the Saints.
They're filing lawsuits, and some dude bought all billboards in Atlanta, and it says "Who Dat Goodell" and all that stuff. But, so think about that referee crew.
Yeah.
Will never be allowed to referee
altogether again.
No, and not there.
Oh, for sure not.
They're banned from that stadium, and they said they had to move hotel rooms that night because of threats.
I'm sure. Well, here's the thing, man. Refereeing has been pretty bad for a while now in the NFL. I mean, look back to the replace gate or whatever it's called. You know what I'm talking about? A couple years ago where they had that catch that wasn't a catch, it was an interception for the Seahawks.
Yeah.
And the Seahawks ended up winning the game instead of the Packers when the Packers was supposed to be an interception. You remember that?
Yep, I do.
Ever since then, it's been terrible.
Yeah.
Ridiculously terrible. So, I don't know, man. It's sad, and there's so much we can change in the NFL that would really benefit the NFL because it's just like a sinking ship that's been sinking for a while. I mean, with the politics of the NFL, with the whole knee thing, kneeling, and, just the viewer base has been terrible the past until this year.
This year it started
coming back, but then there's more problems coming back.
Yes.
With refereeing that's making people go, why am I watching this?
Yeah. Well, I mean, we could argue that they really haven't been able. They're almost becoming like Apple. Like Apple got so big, and it's Apple as a company. It's so big now. Mm-hmm. Now that they're not posting just record, they're not even meeting their profit expectations, right? The NFL is much worse than that.
I can compare this to Madden, which is hilarious, but EA holds the only licensing for football.
Yep, and they haven't innovated much on
they
that
can
game
just
at
not
all.
give a crap and push out whatever and not innovate.
And you can argue
change.
they did that for a long time,
for at least 5 years. Yeah,
yeah. Now, and the mode that they do push is so, and they've tried to change this.
Ultimate Team.
It's so transaction heavy.
Yeah,
with the small transactions.
Oh yeah.
But back to I feel horrible for the Saints fans. If I were a Saints fan, I would be beside myself. I don't even think I could watch the Super Bowl. I think it would make me sick to my stomach.
Right, and here's another thing. All the Saints fans, they have a right to say they could win that game. People that normally go, well, it's a call that missed, but they could have redeemed themselves. Man, I mean, you're at the 20-yard line. If you get this call, the game's over. Like there's nothing you can change. Like, of course, Breeze didn't have to throw the interception in overtime, but again, his player didn't have to push the defensive player into the interception.
Yeah, yeah.
Like it could have been defended. But what I'm saying is, like, everyone that normally says and have a point where, well, they had plenty of times to win the game. I think that was the time to win the game.
No, I think, well, everybody's going to say that because that's the line that Breeze used, and well, we had other opportunities, but the bottom line is when you have teams that equally matched, like they were so equally matched,
one play will win that game.
Change the whole game.
Yep,
and
for sure.
This isn't like a bad hold call. This is like
the most blatant missed call I've seen in a very long time.
It could have been any other call, but to have that kind of call happen.
A double missed call?
Oh, my God. Like, it was almost like the universe is saying, all right, guys, you better change or you're going to lose even more. So this will be unfolding for a while, I think. The NFL has this whole competition committee crap. Mm-hmm. They better get their crap together.
Well, I would have liked...
all I got to say.
Most of America would have liked to seen Drew Brees versus Tom Brady.
Oh, it would have been
old
great.
GOATs.
Yeah.
The old GOATs who are legendary in their own respects.
And no offense to the Rams, okay? But this is not a fun Super Bowl.
No.
Not a sexy Super Bowl.
I mean, you're looking at like, oh, hey, he's the youngest coach in history to go to... Woo, who cares?
And you have Goff.
Yeah.
Who really did not play good at the end of the season.
He hasn't played great
and you
since
could argue,
week 8.
And I'm going to argue that his coach is... like his, Sean McVay is the offensive guru there. And they call him an offensive guru, but he basically wants to run the ball, right?
Yeah.
That's what he's doing.
He does.
And if they don't have a running game, Goff's not going to do crap.
Falters, man.
What do you think Belichick is going to do to him? They're not going to run the ball on the Patriots.
No.
The Patriots will scheme. They will take out who they think is the best player on that team offensively. And they're not going to let C.J. Anderson and they're not going to let Gurley run. They're just not.
Oh, no.
They're going to force Goff to throw the ball, and it can get lopsided really quick. That's what I think is going to happen.
If the Patriots come out there guns blazing, it will be over very fast.
Yes, and if that D-line cannot get to Tom Brady, and I think they can. I mean, they got Donald.
They're the only D-line that could.
They could, and they may very well hit him a few times, but that'll be about it. Like, I predict this game could get out of whack pretty fast. Mm-hmm. But we'll see. Listen, anything could happen. Last year's game was immensely better, right? The Eagles game.
Oh, my gosh, what a game. Yeah.
That was a historic game.
That was a game that...
This is not going to be historic. This Super Bowl. It's going to be historic for Tom Brady. It'll be historic for Bill Belichick. Yeah. But it's not going to be like anything to write home about at the end of the day.
Like no one really wants to watch these two teams play. No one wants to watch the halftime show.
Yep.
It's broiled in controversy because of the whole Kaepernick thing.
Yeah.
They went through like 15 acts asking them before they were like, Maroon 5, you want to go up in?
They got
like,
Maroon 5
and they asked Travis Scott. Yeah. And then they're getting lambasted for joining that, so no one's going to watch them. I mean, it's just like a whole party of negativity. In one area.
It's going to be. This is some scary waters for the NFL. They really need to just go ahead and modernize the instant replay system, the replay officiating system. Period.
What if they implied something like that for the Super Bowl?
I mean, they can't. They won't. I mean, they could, but
Goodell could have the power to be like, "Yeah, we're not going to let that happen again."
I mean, you do know, old Rams people, like Dick Vermeil, is still doing press accusing the Patriots of cheating, right? Hate the Patriots. You know that, right?
Yeah.
Eric Dickerson brings it up every Super Bowl year. Patriots cheat.
Lord.
They cheated us. Dick Vermeil. They cheated us. They cheated. It is that would be a fun angle to play with the Rams versus the Patriots, but unfortunately, not that I listen. Patriots, what were they this year?
They were 11-5.
Yeah, they were 11-5. They get into the playoffs, and they got hot in the playoffs.
Yeah,
It's over. It's done.
yep.
And I hate to feel that way. This would have been an incredible game against the Saints. If I'm the Saints, right? The two things I would do is I would fortify my O-line and the D-line, because I did feel like they really struggled. They really did struggle on the O-line.
Oh yeah.
They really did. A lot of hold calls. It's been like this for the last month watching the Saints play. They've just a lot of holding penalties and a lot of needless things, and they still managed to get that far.
Yeah.
So the talent's there. I hope
The coaching's there.
I hope
Everything's
Breeze gets
there.
another chance. I just think he's great for the community there. I think he's great for the NFL. But I'm not happy about the Super Bowl, and
No.
I don't even care that the Patriots are in it. It's not even really about the Patriots. It's just who they're playing. It's just not.
Yeah, no one cares.
No, and LA doesn't care. Like the people in LA is not a football market.
No.
It is a basketball market.
Yeah, for sure.
All the Hollywood guys go to the LA Lakers games.
Jack Nicholson.
Yeah, they want to go see LeBron. They want to go see that team.
Oh yeah.
They
don't want to
if you
see
notice,
some
if you
LA
notice every
Rams.
time, even with the Chargers, even when there's a game with the LA Chargers, the NFL is always good about getting cameras on whoever the superstars are at the game. They do it every game.
Oh yeah.
But for the most part, in LA people in LA don't care. They just don't. It's just not a football town. You may have some old school Rams fans. I'm sure there's diehard Rams fans that are going to be supporting them. Good for them. But I think they're in for a rude awakening when it comes to the ratings for the NFL. Unless there's a just massive snowstorm and nobody can go anywhere, which is quite possible. But I feel bad. Man, I feel bad for the Saints.
Man,
That's
this
a
is gonna be
rough
like
one.
one of the worst calls. That's like one of the worst calls in NFL history.
Yeah, it was.
It will go down as what if.
Well, this could be a game changer for sure as far as like what the league's going to do. Because can you imagine if they don't do anything?
Oh my God! Yeah, everyone would flip their lid.
But the referees that have retired or quit, a lot of them have gone into the NFL media. Like each network now has their own.
They have like that
Dean Blandino.
Yep.
Dude, Dean Blandino roasted that call.
I'm sure he did.
He went off. Like,
Even if you don't even watch football and you see that, you're like, is that supposed to happen?
well, it
You
popped
know?
up on my Reddit.
Oh God!
And when that stuff pops up on Reddit, you're like, oh God.
Firestorm incoming.
Yeah, because Reddit, Reddit's international. There's a lot of other stuff that happens that's outside of the United States that makes it on Reddit, but oh my God.
if it's trending, it's
yeah,
like,
you're like, oh, okay. This is it to watch the way the angles they show. It's even worse. Like they're always going to find the worst angles. So
I guess just like, man, pass interference is one thing, but man, a straight helmet to helmet hit.
yeah.
That's
I mean, he just took him out.
that's
and he admitted it.
Laid him out.
Yeah, the Rams player admitted
Yeah,
it.
he's like, I whooped
I was going to let him make the pass.
I whooped his A. He's like, I didn't even look back at the ball.
Yeah,
I
he
saw his
did. He
arms
wasn't going to
outstretched.
let
I
him
was
make
like,
he was not going to let him make the catch.
if he had turned around, he probably could have intercepted that ball.
Probably. Probably. So you've got. It's gonna be an interesting.
We could spend
next
time
couple of weeks.
talking about this for hours, just on how bad it's been and how bad it's going to
Well,
be.
it's just culminated all season.
Yep.
To be honest, Gage.
This is like the pinnacle of bad refereeing.
Mike Tomlin got fined a couple of times this season for talking about the refs.
About every team got fined this season, really.
Yeah, and Goodell's just up there, like, oh no, everything's fine. They never
I'm
say
making money.
anything.
I don't care. Yeah.
Well, they're gonna have to. I
Yeah.
think they're gonna have to. I think the owners will say something. Obviously, the owners are the ones at the end of the day that are going to influence that decision. So I guess for our picks for the Super Bowl, are we both going with the Pats?
Yeah.
Even though that hurts me.
Yeah. I mean, like we'll reiterate this coming week with the Pro Bowl happening and stuff. But
Yeah. And speaking of the Pro Bowl, did you see old Mitch Trubisky?
No, what happened?
Yeah, he's going. He's going.
What?
He doesn't deserve it.
Are you serious?
Yeah, I don't like him. I don't like Trubisky.
He's going to the Pro Bowl.
Yes, he is. There's a bunch of scrubs going now because of either injuries or, because Breeze backed out.
I want to see this. He backed out?
Yeah, Breeze backed out, and I think some other people backed out. So there's a couple.
Let's look at the roster for the Pro Bowl real quick and see.
Yeah, there's been a few. There's been a few adjustments made. I know in the past 2 days since the championship games. So, but anyway, we'll be talking next week about the Super Bowl and all the other drama. So we'll at least have a few more episodes. Any news?
I'm going to look at the Pro Bowl roster right now.
Yeah, I think he was announced yesterday. It's usually on Twitter.
Oh, Kamara got into the Pro Bowl.
Yep. Hey, off the subject. Did you see that picture of Alex Smith? He showed up at an NBA game.
At the Wizards game. Yeah.
Yeah.
Casey sent me a photo of that.
He looked rough, bro.
I know, dude.
Like it looked like
his
Frankenstein.
Whole,
Yeah. I was like, oh god, that leg looks rough.
Andrew Luck is in the Pro Bowl.
Of course.
Replacing Phillip Rivers.
Of course.
I mean, hey, you can't argue with that season.
He played better than Phillip Rivers at the end of the season.
His season was ridiculous, though.
Yeah, he did great.
I remember we can just we should have a compilation of all the times you doubted Andrew Luck.
I just don't like him. But the last month I didn't doubt him. Last month.
I know. You're seeing them win 3-0.
I gave up.
Maybe
I gave up. I'm like, okay. I forgot what game. I think the Texas game was like, oh god.
Yeah, because you picked against them.
Yeah.
And then they won by
Yeah, they destroyed them.
Yeah, and you're like, what the crap?
Yeah, they did it, man. They did it. Hey, did you see Frank Reich fired? He fired the tight ends coach.
Oh, really?
Fired the O-line coach. Because, dude, those aren't his guys. They're not.
That's fine.
They were hired before he got there. So the tight end coach, I mean, I don't know what he did, but Eric Ebron was not catching balls at all. He was sort of a bust at Detroit. Gets there and has a career year.
Mm-hmm. Well, let's go through this Pro Bowl roster real quick. And keep in mind, some of these aren't the same. I don't think this has been updated recently, but, just think of the teams that aren't there. I looked for the most recent updates, but we got Mahomes, obviously, and then Andrew Luck coming in for Rivers. I don't know who QB3 is because Tom Brady's in the Super Bowl for the AFC. Then you got DeAndre Hopkins and Tyreek Hill.
Oh, well, 14 minutes ago, the NFL just announced that Mahomes will attend the Pro Bowl.
Okay, cool.
So that's good.
Yeah, Tyreek Hill, Antonio Brown.
Yeah.
Keenan Allen, and Juju Smith-Schuster. And you got Taylor Lewan, Alejandro Villanueva.
Kamara was added to the Pro Bowl roster.
Yep. Yeah, he replaced Todd Gurley.
Yep.
Travis Kelce and Eric Ebron. Wow, Eric Ebron. Yeah. Real quick, revitalized his career. Yeah. James Conner got in. Melvin Gordon. Philip Lindsay for the Broncos.
He's, I don't think he can play, though, with his wrist, right?
I don't know, dude.
Yeah, I don't think he's going to be able to play with his wrist.
Does this still count if you're injured and you can't play?
I mean, I think he's going as a correspondent.
But so it still counts towards your resume?
Yes.
Okay, cool.
Yeah.
I just, I didn't want him to get shafted because this is rookie year and he made the Pro Bowl. That's crazy, dude.
Yeah, good for him, man. Because they say the Pro Bowl, you need to play Pro Bowl level for 2 years before you get picked. Because it's basically a glorified popularity contest.
Yeah.
The NFL teams really are supposed to lobby. A good example, right? I'm going to say his name. You're going to be like, what the crap are you talking about? But when you look at a season, he had an unbelievable season. Laramie Tunsil, left tackle for the Dolphins, had an all-pro level year. Didn't have a chance. He just didn't have a chance. I'm surprised Xavier Howard got a Pro Bowl this year. He led the league with interceptions for the Dolphins. If you're on a mediocre team, it's even harder. Right.
Well, I mean, it's a little different from this in the NBA. The NBA is purely fan voting.
Yeah.
And this is just
it's peers, coaches, and fan.
Yep. So NBA, you can get they almost had a dude that averaged 6 points a game into the All-Star game last year.
Just because of the fans.
Well, his home country, I can't remember,
voted for him.
It was Turkey or something.
This is voted for him. Old school American Idol.
Yeah, they all voted for him, and he's number 2 on the list. They're yeah, we can't do that. Sorry, you are not good enough.
Yeah.
But there's some notable names in the AFC. I mean,
Well, the Pro Bowl, they did like last year's game was okay.
It was entertaining.
I mean, it wasn't like you don't want any of those guys injured.
Right.
This isn't like that Sean Taylor play where he destroyed the punter years ago. Like that kind of stuff is just not that kind of stuff. They don't let them blitz. They let them. It's going to be a purely offensive game.
Yeah. I find it cool that the Pouncey brothers both got selected.
Good for them. Good for them.
Then you got of course, J.J. Watt, Melvin Ingram, Myles Garrett.
Yeah, good for him.
Kyle Williams is the name. I'm surprised.
Good for him. Yeah.
His final season, he got in the Pro Bowl.
From the Broncos. That's good.
From the Bills.
Oh, sorry.
Von Miller, of course. Jadeveon Clowney. C.J. Mosley.
He's a free agent, by the way.
Benardrick McKinney. That's a name that's new this year.
What is he?
That's probably a name I butchered. For the Texans, he's an inside linebacker, middle linebacker.
Oh, yeah.
For the Texans.
Well, he took over for, what's his name that kept on getting hurt?
Cushing.
Getting PD.
Cushing.
Yeah, he kept on getting suspended.
Yeah. So
where is he?
I think he's not in the NFL anymore. Like he got suspended indefinitely, I think, maybe.
Wow.
He had so many infractions.
He was unbelievable.
Yeah. And then you have your Howard guy, Jalen Ramsey, Stephon Gilmore, Denzel Ward, first round pick.
Good for him.
Derwin James and Eric Weddle.
Yeah.
And Jamal Adams.
Is Eric Weddle going to retire this year? Does he want to come back?
He wants to come back.
Well, they still haven't worked out the deal with Harbaugh.
No, but they're finalizing it.
They should.
So it's an extension, thank God. Weddle, Suggs, and I think someone else on the Ravens want to come back. They said they'd take even less money to come back and play 1 or 2 more years for them.
Good.
But then you have the Panthers where they shafted Thomas Davis. He was like, I will take the minimum. I will be in the background. They're like, nope. You had almost 100 tackles this year, but it's okay.
Yeah.
Who cares about the guy that's been here for 14 years?
The NFL age.
But still, he's such a good leader. Walter Payton Man of the Year award.
Yeah.
He literally wanted the minimum.
I'm interested to see if he even gets picked up.
He probably won't. I mean, Panthers, people know me as a person that doesn't like the Panthers very much. It's things like this that make me not like the Panthers,
Well, what do you do,
They released D'Angelo.
Do you keep him on the team?
If he's asking minimum and he was a starter last year and produced,
are you is there a rookie behind him?
Yeah, I think so. I think there's a second stringer that they drafted.
See, I'm wondering if they're wanting to give him the reps.
But that's what I'm saying.
Because who else is having the same situation as the Cowboys with Sean Lee
and Leighton Vander Esch. Yeah.
And they still named Sean Lee the starter, even though he wasn't starting on paper.
Yeah.
On paper, they made him the starter, but he wasn't.
See, TD was like, man, I will sit on the bench and just mentor these young guys. I want to stay with the Panthers. I still want to play.
If that was his mindset, then I would have kept him on the team.
That's what I'm saying. They did that with D'Angelo.
Yeah.
And then they kept Jonathan Stewart, and you see where that happened. I mean, where's he at?
Yeah.
Backing up McCaffrey?
Yeah. McCaffrey had an unbelievable season.
Right. And then, people can argue the Steve Smith thing.
Well, the rumor is that they're thinking about letting Cam sit for the year.
What?
Yeah.
The year?
Shoulder, yeah.
They think they messed it up too much?
Yep. That's what they're saying.
Idiots, man.
I read that article.
I'm sorry, but Panthers front organization.
Talking about putting your franchise on hold for a year.
Here you go, guys.
What do you do?
Here you go, Panthers fans. You guys don't want Cam Newton. Watch and see what happens without Cam Newton, and then come back and tell me.
They're going to win 4 games.
Yeah, come back and tell me what happens after that. You put in Smith or whatever the crap his name is.
I think, and I don't want to call people idiots.
I'm sorry.
However, you see some very uneducated football.
That is a nice term for an idiot, Ricky.
You see some very uneducated football fans living in an area like we're not Panthers fans, but just reading what's posted on social media.
I lose brain cells sometimes, dude.
It shows you the ignorance of some people's They just don't get it. They
Yeah.
just don't get it.
I mean, like we harken back to whenever we bring Cam Newton up, we harken back to the preseason game against the Saints where everyone's like, "Oh my God, my Panthers are doing so good," and they're like, "Where are you playing?"
The game he's referencing is when the Saints had already clinched the division.
It was the last week of the
And the first
NFL
round bye.
season,
So none of their starters played.
and none of the starters of the Panthers played. Really,
Yeah, and the Panthers,
whooped some
whooped them.
tail.
And everybody was like, where was this Panthers team?
What's
And
this
they had a
QB's name?
third, fourth string quarterback.
Yeah, he's
He's better than Cam.
Newton. I'm like,
So, yeah, no, we're going to repeat, no. Like, he's not better than Cam. It's not even close. It wasn't even a competitive game.
me and my dad have talked about this a couple times. We both agree that Ron Rivera, or I don't know if it's really Ron as much as the OC, have kind of made Cam into like what they want him to be.
You
as
mean
like
Norv Turner?
yes,
I like Norv Turner.
I like him, but like I think Cam is too much of a pocket passer now.
I think Cam got hurt.
that, and I just think his creativity as a
Prior-
runner has not been the
Prior
same.
to his injury, which, the NFL is very, teams are very fudgy with the way they do injuries. Bill
Reports,
Belichick's
stuff like that.
notorious for it.
Oh yeah, I know.
Hiding injuries. It's been done for years. The Dolphins got fined this year for hiding a Tannehill injury. They didn't even mean to.
Oh,
Like anybody cared anyway. But so we don't really know when that injury happened to Cam, but
It
you
showed
can almost
itself at the
you can almost
Pittsburgh
look at
one.
his statistics and see, it instantly started.
the Pittsburgh game.
Yeah, it instantly started there, and it's like Todd Gurley, right?
Yep.
Todd Gurley, arguably the number 1, number 2 running back in the league, probably number 2 behind Zeke. I like Zeke better,
He just looks like a mess right now.
right? And then all of a sudden, Gurley can't play
Yeah.
right now, and he hurt his team in the most important game of the season, right?
Almost
So
lost
if I'm a
'cause of it.
casual fan, I turn on the TV. Todd Gurley's hot garbage.
Yeah, really.
We wasted all this money. Well, I have a feeling he's really hurt, and we'll find out the truth after the Super Bowl, how bad he's really
What if
injured.
he didn't even play the Super Bowl?
And watch it. I'm going to call it now. First game of 2019 season. 2020 season. They'll be like, Todd Gurley's 100%. It turns out last year he had a blah blah blah.
Oh,
blah, blah.
I know. Yeah.
And they'll make it a big discussion. But the bottom line is he's just not doing great. And you got CJ Anderson stayed at home this season.
He got
and
cut
ate,
3 times.
ate a bunch
Twice,
of chicken
something like
wings
that, yeah.
because he's a big old boy. He's the size of what was the running back for the Panthers, the old fullback.
Mike Tolbert.
Yeah, he's he looks as round as
He
Mike
does,
Tolbert,
yeah.
and the dude just gets up the field 6 yards every time he touches the ball. He's got fresh legs,
He's super small.
so
too.
he ain't gonna be doing that against the Patriots. So no, we're about as good as Sean McVay is, and I'm sure they're gonna coach a great game.
going up against Bill Belichick.
I believe
is
Wade
like,
Phillips is a great coach as well. Okay. It's not going to be a gimme, but I just don't know if they're going to be able to react so fast to what the Patriots are going to do.
And I love the tone, how the tone has shifted because like the postseason, a lot of people were like, Patriots are hot garbage right now, and like.
Well,
It went
Tom
from-
didn't look good.
No,
the last
but
month in
it's-
December.
It's went from like Patriots underdogs to like, well, Patriots gonna blow them out.
Did you read that article? I don't know if it's real, but they said that in the meetings, like Tom Brady showed up unannounced to one of the
you
meetings.
say,
and
"I'm the
said,
baddest
I'm
MFer
the best
alive."
mother trucker.
Yeah, I'm the baddest MFer alive.
Yeah, and
I love that, man.
and then you start reading about all of his old teammates like Harrison, and all these guys that were free agents that come and play for the team. They all love him as a teammate, right? You don't hear that said about Big Ben. You don't
Obviously
hear that
not
said about Aaron
Antonio
Rodgers. But what I've heard, and you heard it about Peyton Manning. He was a great teammate. And
Speaking of that, Carson Wentz, that drama.
yeah, so
Out of nowhere.
So if you haven't heard, there was an article that dropped 2 days ago about rumblings that Carson Wentz is a selfish player, holds other people accountable, but can't be held accountable. is what the line was, I think.
Egotistical.
Yes. And then, of course, a bunch of, even the Eagles organization tweeted something that, hey, this is false.
Yeah, the Eagles are like Fletcher Cox.
Yeah, all the team captains basically
Brandon
came to Wentz's
Brooks.
defense.
Yeah.
So this is what I think. I think somebody that's pissed off in the front office with media relations or an ex-player probably went out and put this out there, right? So it can get some social media hits.
Yeah.
But you better believe next season, when they start having a rough month or two, they're going to bring this back up. It's almost like they're setting it up already, right?
Isn't that so crazy?
Well, I mean, listen, the Eagles have a big decision to make. You know, they gave Foles a bonus, right? I think it was like $2 million bonus. Like he had missed it by a couple of passes or something. I can't remember
They
what it
still
was.
give it to him?
Yeah, they gave it to him anyway.
Saints
did the
because
same
he
thing.
didn't play the rest of the that game against some
The
team.
Saints did the Saints did the same thing for one of their players that, like, he missed it by like 6 snaps, so they went ahead and gave him the bonus.
That's cool.
You know, stuff like
That's
that.
cool, yeah.
So, but you know, the Eagles are a team that, you know, they really do have a dilemma, and they have to discuss that. Like you got to discuss it. It's like
they're looking at the elephant in the room and they're just like, anybody else see it? I don't see that.
yeah,
They're just gonna like keep acting like they don't see it until like.
and that
preseason.
GM Howie Roseman is considered, like, after their Super Bowl win, considered a genius. You know, after them being able to beat the Patriots.
Well,
You know, so let's see what he does. And
he crafted a very well balanced team.
hey, and how funny is it? The one team that doesn't have their coach yet is the Miami Dolphins. Everybody else went and got their offensive hotshot coach, right? Except
Crazy
for the
Cliff.
Dolphins. The Dolphins are going to hire, I think his name is Brian Flores, the defensive coordinator for the New England Patriots, right? And from what I understand, and by the way, when I say this, I don't care either way. I think most of his staff is all minority, by the way.
That's cool.
Yeah, it's cool, but I'm like, I don't give a crap as long as he's hiring the best person for the
Yeah,
job.
yeah, exactly.
I don't care what color they are.
Yeah.
And we shouldn't really. But the owner, Steve Ross, I know it's important to him, you know, but he will be the first non-white head coach officially for the organization. I think that's pretty awesome.
Wow.
You know, but I'm very skeptical of having an ex-Patriots person on our staff.
Because of the record of the
heritage?
past ones.
Yeah, it sucks. They all suck.
Like 33%
and-
win percentage or something like
But
that.
I have read up on this the past week. I really do want to see something. It's not like I'm trying to find something positive, but from all the Dolphin reporting, there's a dude named Omar Kelly who I love. That's a journalist for the Dolphins. Well, he works for a Miami paper, but he covers the Dolphins. And what he says is pretty dead on. And from what he understands from within the organization, Brian Flores put together the best staff of all the coaches that interviewed. Like he was going to be able to put what they consider the best staff together. So it's going to be Caldwell, the old
Jim?
Yep, Jim Caldwell.
Oh, wow.
He's going to be like the assistant head coach and over not the OC, but he's going to be overseeing the offense with the offensive coordinator. I think they grabbed the defensive coordinator. They just hired, they haven't officially hired him, but he's the linebackers coach, I think, for the Packers, I think. But these are all his Flores people. So the background on Brian Flores is that he was in the scouting department for the Patriots. He was in the front office. Then he moved into coaching. He's a Brooklyn guy, you know, but he has a lot of respect in the league, you know. So we'll see. He could be totally different, man. Like this could be. You know, I don't know how the Dolphins are going to do, but you show me what their schemes are going to be. Like, I want to know what their defense scheme is going to be. I want to know what their offense scheme is going to be, and I want to know who the quarterback's going to be. I honestly think they will draft a quarterback in 2020. I don't care what they say. 2020 will be the year that you've got Tua, right?
Yeah.
You'll have
Justin Herbert?
Yes.
Herbert?
Yes.
Something like that. From Oregon.
Who else will we have? We'll have the kid from Georgia. What's his name? Jake. God, I love him.
Start with an F, I think.
Yeah, he starts with an F.
From. Yeah.
Yeah, From's gonna be great.
And then Jalen Hurts is transferring to Oklahoma.
Oklahoma, I saw
and
that.
If he does good, he's gonna go pro, dude.
Well, I mean, there are a couple of quarterbacks this year, though. You got the kid from Ohio State.
Yeah,
Is he a projected first round?
I think so.
What about Kyler?
I think he is also.
You think he's? What do you think about Kyler Murray? I don't care about what the stats think.
I think he's very impressive. He's an extremely dynamic quarterback. Kind of reminds me of like how dynamic Lamar was.
He looks little to me.
He's small, dude.
He looks very small to me.
Like Doug Flutie size.
I think if he's not careful, he's going to end up like Russell Wilson, like third round. But I don't think he'll make it to the third round because there's no risk.
He's way too talented.
Like I don't feel like there's a risk anymore to get. I mean, you're losing a high draft pick. You know that risk.
At this point, there's
However,
so many gems.
Yeah,
Everywhere.
I feel like if you were a team dying to get a quarterback, like what the key. Okay. I know this is a crazy example, but what the Chiefs did with Mahomes, they just went up and got him.
Yeah,
because they wanted him.
And they still had Alex Smith.
Everybody makes a big deal out of that because Mahomes has ended up being so special. But at the time, if you really look at it, it wasn't like a risky move. They made some trades with Cleveland.
Best player available.
They wanted to get the future of the league. They could have ended up like the Broncos and totally whiffed
on that Paxton Lynch guy.
Yes.
Right?
Because you know who wanted Paxton Lynch? The Cowboys wanted Paxton Lynch. And who did they get? Dak Prescott.
Hey.
And look what happens.
I mean,
you can argue about hating the Cowboys and Dak Prescott, but Dak Prescott has been a winner for that franchise.
Yeah,
since the minute he started. So
inconsistent, yes, but a winner, yes.
Yes, but you never know.
Oh yeah.
Right? But I don't know, man. Dolphins could make a move. I just, out of all my best friends, that are Dolphins fans, we're talking about if they're going to tank next year. They'll never say they're going to tank, but once I see the scheme and who the quarterback's going to be, I'll give you my prediction. I'll be very surprised if we win 6 games.
Wow.
I'm telling you. If they keep Tannehill, forget it. I'll lose my mind.
Why would you keep Tannehill at this point?
Well, why? Contract. There's no trade. He didn't play good enough to really warrant a trade unless somebody like who would he fit on that system? He would be good for the Broncos, for that kind of play action kind of setup. If I'm thinking about a team that maybe he would fit in, but nobody's going to trade for that contract. So it's going to be rough. It's going to be rough. I think they're just going to have to divorce him, So, but again, we'll see how Flores is. Like, I'm excited to see his press conference. I want to see how he talks. I want to see, he wears his hat like old Gase does. He wears his hats low like I do. I like that. Yeah. It's like, okay, I was paying attention to his play calls. He called some good defensive plays. His defenses haven't been mind-blowing, but they've been good enough.
Have you seen this real quick as we wrap things up? There's a coach on the sidelines.
Oh, the Sean McVay.
Yeah, who pulls Sean McVay back when he's in the way of officials, so he doesn't get a flag.
I tweeted that yesterday.
He probably makes like 6 figures doing that.
I have a question.
Sure.
What? Why would you let somebody do that? I'd be like, don't touch me. I got this. You know what I'm saying?
Man, I guess it's just a problem he has.
I guess he just zones out. I guess maybe McVay just zones out.
Yeah, the difference between him and Mike Tomlin is he's actually zoning out versus Mike Tomlin's out there trying to trip a player.
Wow.
You remember that back when the Ravens played the Steelers and Jacoby Jones taking the kickback and Mike Tomlin tripped him?
Yes. I remember that.
So,
he got major trouble for that.
Oh, they lost draft picks for that.
Yeah, and then, it was just announced, by the way.
Oh,
hold on.
What is it?
This is not that it's major news, but it does have something to do with what we discussed today.
There's a QB coach going to the Packers, by the way.
Yeah, I saw that. CBS wants to extend Tony Romo's contract, which expires this year.
Really?
What a shocker! Because I think he signed a $4 million deal. $4 million
deal. It was like a
deal.
1-year deal, right?
He's gonna get bukus.
Oh, like 5 years.
Because those guys. He can go anywhere. He can go to ABC. He can go do Monday nights. I mean, what if ESPN goes, "Hey, Tony, we'll give you a 25 mil."
Yeah, really.
know?
Sorry we crapped on you so much back in the past. Here's 25 mil.
Here you go. Well, I mean, I'm sorry, but that game was more entertaining with him calling. Like he would go, "Oh, I mean."
He would call every play.
He predicted everything in that last part of that game. It was pretty amazing. It was really fun to watch, and I love that kind of analysis, you know. And he did say something that I have thought about and believe, but he talked about Gronk, like what Gronk's role this year has become.
Yeah.
Like they made him a blocker this year. He's the best blocking tight end in the league.
Oh, yeah.
The best. And when he gets his hands on the ball, he doesn't fumble.
No.
Like Eric Berry, you know, the play he made on Berry at the end of the game where Berry just karate chopped his hands to try to get the ball out of his hands.
Yeah.
Nah. Like, it's just once Gronk, he's got it, you know. Pretty unbelievable. Now, Gronk, I think, may retire after this.
I think if they win a championship, both of them are retiring. Man, what a dual blow to the franchise. Bam, bam. Both retiring.
Dude, I mean, the franchise.
Do the Patriots miss the playoffs?
Without Tom Brady?
And Gronk.
I don't think Belichick will coach either.
Oh,
I don't.
4-12, here we come.
Nah.
No, I'm kidding. Nah. Probably, if they all three are not there and they're just like scrambling.
I think it's McDaniel's team.
It might be like 6-10.
I think McDaniel's. No, I think they'll become average just like everybody else.
That's what I'm saying. Like,
yeah, even if they had Garoppolo,
I don't know, man.
Well, he hasn't had a full year yet, so it's all we don't know.
He's played like 6 games total, right? 7.
Because if he has another doo-doo year, Kyle Shanahan's done. They won't give him another year.
Yeah,
I mean that's the trend in the NFL for a coach.
Someone pick up his backup.
They're not going to let if Kyle Shanahan doesn't say, like, if they don't have success next year for the 49ers, like that may be it for Shanahan. Even though I think he did a really good job with nothing.
Yeah,
you know, I think he's done a very good job. But dude, all these NFL teams are just full of old coaches that are all just coordinators now, like Gus Bradley. Gus Bradley sucked in that Patriots game. You know what I'm saying?
Gus Bradley, Norv Turner, Jim Caldwell.
They're just old recycled coaches, man. And then the ones that are really good, Wade Phillips, excellent.
Yeah.
Excellent. Because you can tell the players love him. Like, he treats those guys like men, and you can tell they love playing for Wade, you know. I mean, I think he's like one of the oldest assistants, by the way, with the youngest coach. I think that's pretty funny.
Oh, yeah.
So, anyway, we can wrap it up. Next week, we'll be back. We'll be talking about the Pro Bowl. We'll be talking about the Super Bowl. They always do a good press week, so I'm sure there'll be a bunch of different stories we could discuss.
Woo-woo.
Getting ready for the Super Bowl.
Maybe we'll bring a guest in.
Yep, sure. We'll have a lot of fun stuff scheduled up for the next couple of weeks.
Man, the podcast after the Super Bowl, I'm gonna try and get both the Turpins in here again.
It'd be insane.
And we're gonna just
We'll
riff on teams, and
that's what's gonna happen, man. And we had I don't know. I think this has been a great season. It's been a very fun podcast to do so far. So anyway, if you would, please hit us up at bombhousepodcast.com. Hit us up on Facebook. Welcome to the Bombhouse Podcast. Listen, we're a big deal, Gage. Okay, we are.
Are we?
We are 65 in Antigua's podcasts.
Oh, like all podcasts.
All podcasts.
No way.
We are level. We hit the top 100 and we blew
of every single podcast in Antigua. What? You have got
so
to
we
be
can't figure
me.
out if you're listening in Antigua. We appreciate this.
I am blown away.
I personally think there's probably some gangsters and hackers listening to us down there. And I understand if you can't reach out to us, it's okay. We don't want to get you all in trouble, but just know that we are thankful.
Oh, yeah.
Because I got that email, and I thought it was a joke, and then I confirmed it before lunch, and it just made me giggle. But
that's crazy, man.
I joked about it, but you know what? I really do appreciate that. we do track our listens and all that good stuff. We do this for fun, and we really, really do appreciate that.
It means a lot to see all the support and all the success that's been coming from this, man.
It's been fun. It's been a fun season. Really,
Oh, yeah.
It's been really good. But anyway, hit us up, social media, all that good stuff. We'll be getting ready for the Super Bowl. There's gonna be a lot more drama going on for the next couple of weeks as things sort of settle into the NFL. I am seriously interested to see what's going to happen with the rule changes.
And free agency, too.
Free agency, there's going to be some really good moves.
All sorts
made.
of craziness.
Yeah, free agency where teams with, I love the thing that cracks me up about free agency, Gage, is you see the teams that supposedly don't have cap space. And then
They just pull out of nowhere.
And then magically they just purge the roster, and they have 36 million. They have 36 million bucks to go crazy.
Woo!
Yeah, come on. Teams are gonna make do.
Oh yeah.
But anyway, everybody stay warm because where we're at right now, it is freezing cold.
I can't feel my feet right now.
It is very cold. It is very cold. But anyway, we do appreciate y'all. Have a good week.
I need a session from Bomb House. Heard him say it under breath. Christian dudes with a mean swag, but we walk around like this Jericho. Laying down that adios and no smoking in my studio. Sound coming through the stereo. How you feeling shook? Vertigo. All of this confidence, dripping finesse, hitting notes and falsetto. We love tacos, so let Ricky do his thing pronto. Finish this session today. He gon' hit you with the mix tomorrow. Produce, record, mix, master it. Sounding so dope that it gets your pastor lit. Hit after hit after hit after hit. Hit after hit. Lickety